Yeah.
You were gonna
I
finish
just.
your hand?
Okay, I have the stream running.
So, I'm just a dude sort of guy. I used to be that way in PhD and then kind of didn't feel it anymore, and I'm the same way now, so.
Seriously, Bob, start the meeting, start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone, to the council. First item, the approval of the October 6th meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from October 6th, 2025.
I'll second.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, Ryan, please call for vote.
Mike Aker,
Yes.
Pat Freck,
Yes.
Tina McDonald,
Yes.
Brandon Seifert,
Yes.
Brad Height.
Yes. Approval of claims for October 20th, 2025, general water, sewer, and payroll.
I'll make a motion to approve the general water, sewer claims and payroll dated today for $1,556,073.77.
Second?
Discussion, questions? Seeing none, Ryan, please call for vote.
Pat Freck,
Yes.
Tina McDonald,
Yes.
Brandon Seifert,
Yes.
Mike Aker,
Yes.
Brad Height.
Yes. Moving on to new business, community crossings 2025-2 application and financial commitment letter.
So the Hunter Park, we did the CCMG for the last round of Gemini and Mercury, and that construction will be done here this fall, and now we're applying for the Apollo Drive entry for CCMG funding. So this is the financial commitment letter that just says, hey, this project is this much, we'll meet the 20% of the 80-20 matching grant, and then we will apply this month for that funding for the project. So the total cost of the project to completely reconstruct the road and redo water lines, along with new sidewalk, is $1,199,053 is where the estimate is at. So that makes your 20% local match $239,810.60. There are water line crossings that we're doing, just like we did on the other two projects. Essentially, we're gonna replace all the lines that are underneath the road, replace it now while you already have the road dug up. So that's part of the CCMG and eligible items, totaling $81,458. So this letter is for your guys' signatures as the council to finish the application process for the Hunter Park project and committing $321,268 approximately as the town committed portion of the project funding.
I'll make a motion to approve the letter of, commitment letter for Huntertown's portion equaling $81,450.00. Was that, this is, oh, I'm sorry. $321,268 and $68.60.
I'll second.
Discussion, questions? Seeing none, Ryan, please call for vote.
Tina McDonald,
Yes.
Brandon Seifert,
Yes.
Mike Aker,
Yes.
Pat Freck,
Yes.
Brad Height.
Yes. Next on the street department defense quotes.
So in front of you, the town solicited 3 quotes from the company and an additional quote from, a potential construction of a pole barn. And I've got those printed out in front of you. Like I said, the packet that Ryan sent out is missing, came in a little bit just after he had sent out the packet. So the ones in front of you are here. A couple of things to note while I get the, some displays up on the TV is all of the fencing companies that we solicited, and I have a feeling that any fencing company that we solicit will not make a vinyl fence, they do not make vinyl fences taller than 8 feet. Due to wind, the thickness of the plastic, there's no way to reinforce it, so 8 foot is the tallest that they go. You can see each company either quoted white or provided a variety of quotes. White will always be the cheapest. So that is what is reflected there. If you wanted to go a different color, it would be more expensive. Obviously, the third quote from RNC Fence shows just how expensive black vinyl fencing is compared to white vinyl fencing.
Wow.
Yeah, almost double.
Wow.
Well, it's 2 foot, it's a 10 foot also.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be a typo, but regardless. And then the last quote from Messman Enterprises you see there is for the construction of a pole barn. So I've kind of got it pulled up here on the screen. Randy suggested rather than constructing a fence down the full length of the property, to construct a pole barn or I guess a lean-to shed, maybe a better word for it, that would span part of the distance. That way, it blocks the view, the back would be full of cover, and I have kind of an example on the next slide. But the town can also utilize it, so we can store some of our equipment or materials in it. Helps us with vehicle longevity, vehicle maintenance, stuff like that. That also provides kind of a barrier. There would be some additional fencing that would be needed. The lean-to that's quoted is only 60 feet long. We can make a 200-foot long pole barn. I don't think it would make a lot of sense, but it's certainly.
What do you mean by lean-to?
I'll show you in the next slide.
Just 3 sides or?
I have an example of slide, right here.
Okay.
So it wouldn't have like this separate bay door, I can't see my mouse, but it would be fully encased on the back for sure, and then potentially each side as well. So showing this building, I can't see my mouse, the front building, there's a very long barn, the little one at the front, so the furthest south of the property, furthest southeast corner, that's about 60 feet. So I mocked it up, showing where it would sit. And then there still would be the need of fencing to continue blocking, so it would have to be a combined thing. So you can see Nate's quote for the pole barn, and then I estimated about 200 additional feet of fencing. So all the quotes in front of you are for 400. Just divide the number in half, and that would get you the accurate 200 estimate. Again, that's the example of.
Because it would be the 60-foot pole barn, then half the quote of the fences.
Yep.
Since if we vote for the pole barn.
Yes, so as you can see, the view is blocked partially by the buildings that are currently there. You would add another pole barn lean-to the north, and then there would still be maybe 1.5 homes that could still technically see the street department. So you would want to put in a portion of fencing to make up for it. And then of course the other option would just be to run vinyl fencing along the entire length of the east side of it. It's approximately 400 feet, maybe a little bit over.
If that's 60 feet wide, you said?
Long,
Long, 60 feet long, and they're quoting 400 linear feet of fence.
so the length of the entire thing is 400 feet.
I know, but if you cut that in half, we're 3 to change.
Or what?
Yeah, that's almost 60.
You take
That's-
60 off, well,
That's-
3-ish.
Well, because we would be putting fencing where the other buildings are.
You started.
It would only be where there would be no building to obstruct
So
you.
roughly 200.
Because you can see between the buildings, they're not gonna touch, there's a drainage ditch, there's some rocks there that are a stormwater prevention, method that's required by our MS4 permit, so the buildings wouldn't touch, so there'd still be gaps, but for that very large gap at the north end, and I think it's really less than 200 feet, I think it's probably closer to 150, but just for ease of division of quote, the lowest bidder, no matter what length, it's gonna be the lowest bidder, but just for you guys to get kind of an idea of cost, I just did 200 feet.
So tonight you're asking on which route that you would like the council to go for
Yep,
direction.
looking for you guys, if you approve a quote, we can engage the contractor. I'm not sure of their schedule, I just asked for quotes at this time, between the 3 or the 4. Unsure, you know, if it can happen before the end of the year, if it needs to happen in the spring. I'm not quite sure, you know, the rules of fence construction.
So if some of us would like to see it both the lean-to and then also the fence to start that, how can we incorporate that into a motion so that we can decide on which route?
I would say, if that's the interest, it would be voting to approve the quote provided by Messman Enterprises for the lean-to, and then approve the estimate provided by the lowest bidder. Of the 3 that are provided here, Allen County Fence is the lowest bidder at $31,500. And then just approve engagement with the lowest bidder. If you want to put a not to exceed, you can, but assume it would be roughly half of the 400 feet that are estimated here.
So if you cut that one in half and add the lean-to amount, under 40,000, that's what we have, 39 and change.
And that lean-to is 12 foot high, is that right?
I believe that's what it says, 12 foot, and then it slopes to 10 foot back, so
Okay.
it doesn't go under 10 feet. But the fence cannot go above 8 foot. There's a lot of numbers thrown around. I do want to also mention the fence quote includes the tear out of the existing fence, so they've included all the labor in their estimates for you guys.
May I ask the couple that are here that have come and made the complaint what their opinion is?
Yeah, your guys' choice.
Yeah, we'd like to hear from them.
Yeah.
Do you want me to stay back here, or should we come
You
up
can
here?
come on.
Okay.
For the sake of the stream, come up to the podium.
Do we need to?
Yes, names and addresses.
Megan, 1535 Fairway Court.
And I'm Deartria O'Neill, and I'm 1532 Fairway Court. I bump up against the creek.
I personally like the fence idea better. I guess I can understand needing, do you guys feel like you need more storage space? Because I guess if that's a portion of it, that's
Plows and
understandable.
the salters.
It helps with the elements if we have some covering, so this would be a benefit
Okay.
for
Would you be able to
for-
get, pallets out of the way, stack them up in there, if there has a bunch of pallets just hanging out in the yard.
I
Just for equipment.
It could be whatever Randy wants to put in there. I would assume he would prioritize equipment.
It's gotta be open.
Yeah, that's,
I think kind of what he's saying, I feel like there's gonna be because there right now is metal fence all the way up to the front of the property. So my question is, like, once they tear down that whole fence, are we talking there's just gonna be a whole open space now? And then it's gonna be no fencing up to so there's fence all right there, all along that whole edge,
Yeah,
right?
the only portion that would be removed would be the what's getting replaced. Everything else would remain the same. So it would transition from the chain link with as much visual blocking as the buildings can provide, and then once the building stopped, it would transition to the vinyl fencing.
Okay,
8 feet.
okay,
That's more a site security concern. We will maintain the fencing that's there.
absolutely.
My thing with the 8-foot fence is, we already have an 8-foot fence there. And I can show you how high it goes over, the compost pile comes over the 8-foot fence. I can stand in my living room and see everything. You know, I can see 5 foot, I can see the compost pile 5 foot over the fence,
Is it because it's stacked up or because it's laying flat?
because it's high.
Well,
It's
if they could
that
get it
high over the
unstacked and some of that stuff moved
Yeah.
out.
That's what we said,
And
if you
maybe
could lay
move
it like
into the
level.
lean-to, once they get a lean-to, instead of having it stacked up and you can still see it, you know what I mean?
Right, cause it's so high.
You can't see the flat ground.
No,
Well,
But
there's,
you can-
so from where, our ground is all
Can I
strangely
show you?
level, but
Yeah.
I just wanna show you, this is our fence. That's how high it goes over.
Yeah,
our
that's
fence.
the junk stacked up.
Yeah.
And if they got rid of that, or working on cleaning that up.
My understanding is what she is saying that you can see would be the compost.
Right.
Right.
So
Not the
the
junk.
And
pile,
not
also,
junk.
from my kitchen and my living room, I can see it in that left-hand corner, all that pile right there.
Right.
I can see that from my yard, you know.
As it
With,
sits right
with an
now,
8-foot fence, and I have trees that are 10 feet tall, and you can still see that. I mean, you saw my
Yeah,
backyard.
back there.
as everything sits right now, with the concrete blocks that are not needed or unnecessary where they're sitting stacked up, the compost pile, there were people back there the other day that were like utilizing the pile, or you guys were moving it around, I don't know, I got really excited, but everything seemed to be moving out with and then they stopped, so I don't know what the process looked like with that, but as it sits right now, an 8-foot fence likely would not cover everything, so we would definitely ask that the cleanup process continues, so it goes below the 8 feet.
Are you gonna be concerned about stuff that you know is behind the fence, even though you can't see it?
No, not at all.
I don't care if we can't see it, and if, you know,
Seeing and
and,
smelling, that's it.
and a barrier, and
Like-
like a sound barrier sometimes, I mean, we
Yeah.
have people dumping stuff all, you know, I'm a nurse, a third shift nurse, I sleep during the day, and all day it's beep, beep, you know, like trucks backing up and dumping and digging, and it's just,
So
It's a
overall,
nuisance.
that's what we're looking
Yeah, but we
at,
have,
is
but we
just,
have to have that stuff over
Yeah.
there though, so.
and I understand to a certain extent.
And another thing, all this stuff, to the west in that far left corner, if we put the, 8-foot fence all the way, I'm not sure what that stuff is, but maybe it could be moved over.
It's just
to the
old
east
pipes,
side.
we've lived there for 20 years, it's been there for 15.
Okay,
It's just,
so maybe
it's
it could
nothing
be
that
moved
looks like it
over.
could be.
yeah, I defer to Randy on that.
And
Some
Randy
of
said
it's
that it's
excess
already
pipe
started.
from projects that we paid for that didn't need to go in the ground, that's worth holding on for future projects, some of it may be able to get thrown away. I'm not quite, it's a little bit of an outdated aerial, so I'm not sure it's not like a flying satellite, whatever Google showed me.
yeah, I think overall it's just, we want a sound barrier, we don't wanna smell it anymore, and if you guys feel that the 8-foot fence is, I mean, I think 10 would be perfect, but you're saying they can't do that, so.
Can we make the pile lower so it doesn't go above 8 feet?
Didn't we say the pile has to move?
So the pile, needs to be 200 feet from residential structure, so you measured it out. How probably the work that you saw is shifting it over to the west slightly to comply with that. It's very lightly over, it's maybe like 165, 170 feet, so we're shifting about 30 feet of it over. The reason it builds up is because the material has to have time to decompose to turn into the compost. So in the summer, it'll likely be taller because you have more yard waste going in, there's time for it to decompose, it'll go down when they take it to, I can't remember, is it Felders? I can't remember the name. We take it to an off-site yard waste company, they mix it in with their soil. So the height it shifts. Randy can, make an effort to keep it low. We don't want it to start expanding out because 1, it'll start to encroach closer to the residences, and 2, we need to leave the drive open so residents' trucks can go through, our materials can go through, stuff like that. We have to leave the drive open, but there might be some room to shift it west.
Does the 200 feet start at the back of their property, or is the actual house?
We worked with the surveyor's office and we interpreted it as the house to the furthest east side of the pile. So not like from center line of pile, we did the furthest east edge to the furthest west edge of the house. So the actual residence itself, not the property line.
What's the difference?
Well, the difference would be
Our
like,
kids are in there. Our
if
kids are in the
you
backyard.
see like where the fences are, the fence would be the property line, whereas the house is quite a bit further to the east. That footage would be the difference between the two measurements.
I just feel like with this, 200 feet is like absolute minimum, and like while I understand like moving it 30 feet, so Item told us it was at least 200 feet, some states are different, some counties are different, at least minimum 200 feet from the back, so they have like a garage slash like office off of the side of their house. If you were to go from that, which is what Item told us, you would go off the closest like physical property, it would definitely not be 200 feet. So I guess when we're talking about how far it is, 200 feet is not gonna do like
much. And
much
we're
for
also
us.
worried about the runoff from this pile that's that high, you know? I wanna know that it's registered like it's supposed to be if it's a compost pile. If it's gonna be considered a compost, then it needs to be up to code with compost, like, you know what I mean? The whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
just
then we've
like,
applied for that, right?
I'm waiting on, I thought the surveyor's office could generate it for me, but they're unable to, so about 2.5 weeks ago, before your guys' last meeting, we engaged a professional surveyor to do a professional survey of the site. Once that's done, everything else is ready to be submitted, they can go to IDEM. But I've communicated with them, you know, as I got teed up to fill out the application, and they, like we said before, have been on site inspecting stormwater runoff in compliance with their MS4 permit, and they have not said any concern about the yardway site as of yet.
okay. Well, as far as the fence goes, like I said, I mean, I think realistically it would look better if the whole length of it was fencing, but, like there's gaps there, so that's why I'm confused if it's gonna be just, like, is the vinyl fence gonna touch the edge of the,
If you go to chain link, the vinyl is like,
The orange line is where the fence will be.
but the rest of that is still gonna be the chain link fence right there up into my backyard.
Right.
So my whole backyard is still gonna be chain link fence, and then you guys are gonna have a pole barn inside. I'm not agreeing
The
with
thing
that.
is, like, men and are back there digging and doing whatever, like, they can see us in our backyard, they can see it in us in our house. We can go back there and like look, and they can see everything we're doing. It's uncomfortable, our kids are back there, we got teenage girls, you know, it's just,
Can you
makes
put
us
the
feel
fence
uncomfortable.
up to the lean-to, right up to the lean-to, then continue the fence after, on the other side of the lean-to, back all the way, you know, down, or is that orange line 400 feet?
That orange line is approximately 200 feet,
Well,
starting where the lean-to ends.
Then you're not gonna have any fencing on the other side of the lean-to?
Yes, they're gonna keep what's there.
Yeah, but
But
no,
it's
that's not
chain
what
link,
they're
not
talking,
vinyl.
no.
Not
No,
vinyl.
I'm saying, I know that. That's not what they want. They want, because that's right back of her house.
I mean, that's my backyard right there. That's my whole backyard. That's still that ran down, gross chain link fence that's 50 years old. Like, I don't want that. And then I'm gonna have half vinyl in my backyard, half
Yeah.
chain link old fence, and then another building. Like, that's my entire backyard. I just feel like whatever that is, if you guys need another building, that's great. But I want fencing all the way up in my backyard where I'm not hearing anything. I'm gonna hear things, and that's fine, but not like we're standing here right next to each other and you've got a dump truck, like, within 100 feet.
And they can see you washing your dishes in your sink, you
Yeah,
know?
like, that just seems very, it doesn't even sound like it'll look good. If I'm being completely honest, that sounds like it's not gonna look good at all. I'm not voting for that. I'm voting for a fence to come up at least up to the, can you go back to that picture, please, and thank you. At least up, to the
Over your
house.
whole backyard.
Yeah, like my whole backyard would still be a chain link fence, and then we're gonna have, you know, and now a vinyl fence connecting, and that almost,
Were you saying 400 feet of fencing?
So the entire length of the east side of the property is 400 feet.
Well, then why are we only talking about 200 on that one side? Why don't you
Because
continue on the other side
The
of the building?
intention of the lean-to, as you can see, as I've shown, has the back covered. So the intention was that would act as a barrier in addition to the
Right.
fence.
But you're still gonna have that chain link fence there, on the other
Yes,
side.
for security of the site, there will still be the chain link fence.
But
What do you mean
that
security
fence you
site?
saw was
So if people
ready.
can't go onto the site,
Well, why don't you continue it with the vinyl?
if you wanted do a 400-foot vinyl fence and a pole, the question is being posed to you.
But what do you guys,
I'm not the road guy, okay, but that's sitting east
Yeah, I
to
know.
west. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be open to the west,
right,
so it's gonna catch, after, whenever the sun starts coming over to the west, it's gonna get all of that in there and the wind coming from the west. So,
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to argue against my own counsel, but that's not what they wanted. They wanted the vinyl all the way.
So I collected all of these quotes for you to consider. If there is one of these two options you're interested in moving forward with, taking a vote on that would give me direction to a board. If you want a third option, that's a combination of different things, you still can take a motion today. I just collected all this information and put it in a graphic form for you guys to consider. So whatever you guys wanna do, based on resident feedback, Randy's feedback, your thoughts, whatever, I'm here to help make that happen.
What if the fence started at the north and came all the way down to where the building starts?
Pole barn.
The pole barn.
But then they wanna
She still
continue
looks
with
at
the
the
chain
pole
link
barn.
fence on the other side of the pole barn. And that's not what they're.
I mean, I just have to ask what your guys' thoughts are. Just put yourself in my shoes, and I want you to ask yourself what I want. I don't know what kind of houses you guys live in. I don't know. We're doing a bunch of remodeling with our house. You know, we're trying to increase the
I
value.
drove your cul-de-sac, it looks nice.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you should,
We've done
you
so
guys
much
have been
work.
out and seen what it looks like.
But I have to ask you, how would you feel
I
if
would
you
not
were
want that.
looking
I would not
at,
want the
yeah,
chain link.
some
I'm
old chain
just
link
being
fence
honest,
connected
but-
to a vinyl fence and then a new barn put up, and then it's like, that's, I don't wanna see that.
And the
Would
chain,
you?
the fence, the chain link fence is beat up, it's old, it's got
You wanna put a
trees.
new one up there. would
Well,
that-
it
that
has
be
trees
better?
that are stuck in it, that they've cut
I
down.
know,
Yeah,
that
you
looks
saw it,
horrible.
yeah.
And I mean, if you guys want that on the other, like the remainder of the L, like, you know, that's fine. You guys want to keep that fence over there, I don't care, I don't have to see it, I don't have to see it. It's not on, I'm not looking at it every single day. This side right here, this is what I'm voting for. What is in this picture right here? This is what I want. I want the fence to cover my backyard, not just for viewing, but for odors, for noise. I think that's the only way to do it and make it look, like, I feel like the other way is overcomplicating
Well, if you
it.
still wanted to do the pole barn and there's 400 feet of fencing and the pole barn's 60 feet, you would need 400 minus 60 and put fencing on one side of the barn and on the other side of the barn. But you're telling me that the chain link has to be on the other side for security purposes? I don't get it.
I would say, no matter what, a fence should be constructed
Well,
on
yeah,
the
of
east
course.
side.
Yes.
So I would say if you were looking to do everything but the 60 foot of the pole barn, you might as well just do all the 400. I think it would be, that extra 60 feet would be negligible in the total, 30,000.
But the pole barn would act as 60 feet of,
I don't know that Randy
barrier or
is
no?
outright requesting a pole barn because he needs it. I think he could benefit from it and thought it would be a useful way to address the
Okay,
problem.
but I'm just asking. I don't know.
So I guess I've heard the word security now. So is this vinyl fence
Secure.
secure? I've seen vinyl fences and.
This is a depiction, not provided by the three people that provided quotes, but it's a standard 8-foot vinyl fence. I believe the fence out there currently is 8 feet tall, so it would match the height of the existing fences. I think there is, it's been a while since I went out there, there's wiring on top of the 8-foot fence. Barbed wire that would not be on a vinyl fence.
What about treated wood?
I did not solicit a wood quote for
So you
several
could probably-
reasons, longevity,
Yeah.
maintenance. It's gonna be way more expensive than a vinyl. It's something I can look into if you're interested. With a
Well-
wood fence, you could get up to 10 foot, but the cost would significantly increase, the lifespan of the fence would decrease, maintenance of it would increase. But I'm happy to get those quotes if you guys want me to look at them.
And I think it just makes it hard, like on our side and your guys' side, because could you guys put up a brand new chain link fence with, like, as of right now, the security measures aren't even there because it's falling apart and there's metal sharp stuff hanging off at the top of it, like it's not efficient anyways, but It's hard because you guys do run the compost facility back there as well, and it's like, you're not gonna be able to just do another chain link fence because you're not gonna have the odor barriers, you're not gonna have the noise barriers, like, you can move it 200 feet away from our house, but those other problems are still gonna be there with a chain link fence because none of that stuff is being blocked. So like, that's where we come into, okay, we have to come to a common ground somewhere, and, we have cameras on the back of our house, so obviously if anything crazy is going on back there, we're gonna see it too, like the cameras go, they detect anytime somebody, you know, and that's where we're gonna have to come to some type of,
It's a tough situation, you know, I mean.
Well, this is gorgeous.
I don't mind, I think this is
Yeah,
great.
They wouldn't be able to see anything, I mean, you can't see through it. Right now, they can see through it, and that's what,
And I think it'd be very kind of you guys, as people who are operating that facility, to do that for all of the residents who are your neighbors. Like, I just think that something like that, it looks pleasant, it's gonna help block the odors, the noise, the view.
and it
It's
looks
gonna be-
pleasant, and
yeah.
like, you know, we're thinking about selling our house. If we wanna go sell our house, who wants to look at,
I mean,
compost
when we
pile?
bought our house, there were multiple people who didn't buy our house because of that view back there, just so you guys know.
It's a choice, but sure.
We decided to do it before we really could smell the smells because it wasn't super like hot out, or it was like just the right day we looked at it.
We've been living in it for years.
Yeah, and then, yeah, we kind of talked to them and they told us what we were smelling and this and that. So, I mean, it does, it decreases the property value.
Hannah, the quote for Allen County fence says remove existing 6-foot chain link, is that, do you think it's eight?
I do think it's I don't know
Especially
if
with
it makes a
the
difference.
barbed wire,
Yeah.
it kind of goes at an
Up,
angle.
yeah, up and over. I don't think none of these, I offered to all of these contractors when I sent them the, request for quotes 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago to do a site visit, none of them were interested in it, so he might just been taking a height.
Rolling holds up.
Yeah, I did have one, so the sharper image fence, I think it's the second one in your pile, you can see down at the bottom, he has two, I highlighted estimates, and then there's a more expensive estimate to the left. The more expensive one is with aluminum I-beams, or he said they use like a thicker pole for the taller fence. No one else offered the aluminum I-beam, I don't know if I'm not sure what anyone's prices would be. It's about $5,800, I think, or sorry, $3,800, what
So
it
I-beams,
says.
we're going horizontal with them. What?
I'm not sure. We didn't talk a lot, prior to him giving me the quote this morning. It's something that could be added, I would assume, by any vendor. Regardless, I think they use a thicker pole for the taller fence. And if you want me to solicit more information or reach out to the lowest bidder, the lowest two bidders to get more information, you don't have to take action tonight. I think there's just been the sentiment, it's been a long time coming. You know, if we can get them in before the end of the year, that would be preferred.
But you don't need this before you file the application, do you?
Correct. This is nowhere in the item permit does it
Okay.
require fencing of any kind.
She just needs the survey.
This is a separate measure that you guys are interested in.
See if Allen County provides I-beam, steel I-beams.
Let's say warranty on it.
I don't believe they provided that information. I can ask for sure.
And I really appreciate you we do appreciate you guys doing all of this. We
Yes.
appreciate you, Hannah, going in and getting all the fence quotes and stuff. I know it's not anything anybody wants to do, I understand, it's just, like I said, it's just been really frustrating for us, living there for the past year, dealing with it on a regular basis, so.
Can we table it till November, till you get more?
Yeah, does anyone, so I have right now to ask if the lowest bidder will provide steel I-beams and then at what cost. And then I see in there it says vinyl products have a limited lifetime warranty provided by the manufacturer. I don't need the details of that
The
warranty.
details, verified commercial doesn't void it.
I do think that this lean-to is a good idea, to get some of our equipment, and I was talking to Randy at the Development Commission afterwards, and he was talking about what he could use this for, this lean-to, to put the equipment underneath that's gonna help the elements, so that would help also
But that was Brad's point.
longevity.
But my Brad's point is it's completely open to the west.
It's open to the west.
Oh, no, I understand, yeah, no, I understand that part, yeah.
We're gonna be
I don't know
wind,
how much you're gonna be saving.
sun.
I will reach out to them tomorrow, but if anyone else has any questions they think of overnight or, within now, between now and November 3rd, let me know. They're really responsive. I can get the response prior to your next meeting.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for hearing us out.
Okay. Travis, your fence.
Presentation fence.
Moving on to Huntertown Family Park Halloween candy donation.
Good evening.
Name and address, please.
My name is Greg Krempel. I live on 3519 Woods Road.
Thank you.
Hi, Sherry Myers. I'm circulating just some information for you. I just made one copy.
Okay.
It's the town calendar for 2026, in case you want to see what's going on. Hopefully we'll get that ready to go in bags that are going out and at Halloween at the park and all of that. And behind that are the flyers for Halloween at the park coming up this weekend. So just kind of wanted you to be aware of that.
Yeah, so we've got, of course, it's a huge event. It gets bigger and bigger every year. Because of that, if you look at the flyer, we did add an additional hour for each evening. That's important because there was a lot of times people were waiting for hours in line to do it. We've added a couple extra things this year too, just so there's more to do. There's more food vendors. There's a night market going on one of the evenings, lots of things that are going on. So, I know with the construction, and it's fine, we're gonna work around that, but we're gonna do our best to park people at the park. So if you're helping us volunteer for that, that's kind of our goal, if it's not too wet. We do have a wagon that will be going around being pulled by a tractor that can hopefully help some of those that can't walk maybe that far. And we're just excited, it's gonna be another big event this year. Of course, we're coming to you guys to ask for donation for candy because we go through probably hundreds of pounds of candy for this event. And it's just because of the amount of people that show up, so.
Real quick about the flow of traffic, so since it's one lane is open now into north, do you think we need to have I don't know how many people you have signed up for
That's this
traffic.
week's, didn't know what the plan would be because we didn't know what the plan would be, so.
I don't think it's gonna change between now and then.
No, it's not, but today I looked at, PLS said, yeah, you can park there if you want, but when I looked there, the drainage, it's there, but I think some people could get injured stepping through there, so that's probably not great.
Not only that, but the giant holes that are there too. We just need to be as safe as possible. There was some talk to maybe park at the school, and that is a choice, but that is a little longer walk.
And we can mention that to people, but if you don't wanna mess with it.
I just feel like you need to have somebody directing traffic, stopping traffic on the north side of all of this, because you're gonna have people trying to get down.
Trying to get through, yeah.
Brandon?
Well, I don't know what your guys' plans are, those two things.
Well, I mean, usually I, myself or Pedro are in handing out candy and doing the community side of it. If you prefer me not do that, I could, but we're a week out and my go-to guy's family has stuff going on that he can't be here, so I'm gonna struggle to find somebody. I can try, but I can't guarantee it. if the road is gonna be in its current form at that time, next weekend, then if one of the individuals that's gonna be there at Woods and Old Lima, then maybe shift the other person, because there's usually two of us, like Mike and I, maybe shift the other person just kind of as watch out, look out for that section with the culverts there by the
Right.
bridge, just at least if you get some straggler that thinks that they can park there. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but.
I can also bring my golf cart down, and I can see if the battery will last long enough that we can use the red and blues on the golf cart.
Yeah, we definitely need red and blues just to slow people down, to make them aware,
But I
because you can't see it now
battery's
at all,
gonna last
so.
long with the.
Well, we've had
Light
success
package.
in the past too with fire department too, so just some vehicle that can flash some lights.
And
Have you guys
there-
reached out to the
No,
fire
there,
district yet?
we've talked a little bit back and forth, but didn't know the plan.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
that's what I said.
No, somebody was asking me the other day, I go, that's this week's project.
Saturday evening, I could go to my vehicle there.
Well, that'd be awesome, Saturday?
I mean, would you guys be able to supply a volunteer there as long as
Yeah.
we put a light there?
Yeah.
And I've got some
Mike
light
and
upstairs.
I mean, I'm working Friday and
Are you
Saturday.
Mike? I
Mike's-
didn't, are you helping out doing Brandon? I didn't know.
Saturday.
Saturday,
Make sure the
okay.
batteries are put in.
But I'll be there
You're
both
both
nights.
nights, Saturday, okay,
Um,
right. Yeah, that'd be great, it just
Honestly-
needs to be.
And that's the.
Because we had thought that there needed to be some kind of like protection with the culverts that are on the bridge, because we weren't sure if you guys were gonna have people still parked there at the, but with the dewatering,
Yeah.
people types that would be.
I really don't think the school, if people don't wanna mess with all that, they wanna park at the school. If you go to downtown Fort Wayne to an event, you go to 10 Caps, you're gonna walk 4 or 5 blocks anyway, you know, that kind of thing, so.
I think it'll be fine,
Yeah.
and even, I think
That'd be great.
the good news of that construction is it's gonna be a lot less traffic there.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
And that was always the dangerous way, so.
You guys are still letting people park in the park, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll have a handicap spot up front, we'll have a golf cart available, if somebody needs a ride back and all that. We will need more help than normal though, because, and, you know, hopefully we'll have more lights this year and all that, but still need a little more help. Because of parking actually in the park, which we didn't wanna do before, we kinda have to do, you know, but if we slow everybody down pretty good, I think we'll be okay.
And the donation.
Donation fee.
Yeah, so last year it was $300.
$300, yes.
I'm gonna ask for 500, if possible.
The donations have not been coming in like, so, I mean, we've only made, you know,
And we
two
usually
trips.
get a large donation from the trustees,
That'll be coming Wednesday.
and I guess that's.
Yeah, I don't know what that's gonna look like, but that'll come Wednesday. And just while you're thinking about that, we wanna give you a little update of what's going on. So, if you've been at the park, you've seen a bunch of equipment sitting there, and that's phase 1 of the playground. And, it'll go in on November 4th and 5th, so we're still looking for 5 or 6 people to help with that community build on that day. And then we'll be talking more about a next phase. We've got a really good potential to do a next phase like ASAP and get it done by spring, like first off the gate, April, maybe by, probably not by Easter egg hunt, but whenever the weather permits.
Today we were able to put those lamp posts up.
Oh, that happened, good.
Graciously donated.
That was awesome.
They were working and that's gonna be.
Can't wait to go see what they look like at night.
Very good.
Yeah, that's great.
So the 4th and 5th, is that project?
Uh-huh, yeah,
We're 6.
we've got 25 people needed each day, and we've got a good number. But we don't wanna publicize that, like, to everybody, because if you do that, then you'll have people say, yeah, I'll help, and they won't show, because you don't know who they are. At least if it's somebody you know, they're gonna communicate that they can't come and can get others. So we just wanna, it's a community build, we've got a $5,000 grant right now, a matching grant that anonymous, I'll say it's a business donor. An anonymous donor said, you have 5,000, and if by the end of the month you raise 5, we'll give 5. So that gets us down to 30,000 for this next part of it. It's great. And, so, and there's a grant with that too. So, so we're hoping, you know. So it's like, well, over the winter we should be able to hopefully figure that out. I hope so.
I'll make a motion, to donate, $500 to the, park for the Halloween candy.
I'll second.
Discussion, seeing none, Ryan, please call the vote.
Brandon Cipher,
Yes.
Mike Aker,
Yes.
Pat Freck,
Yes.
Tina McDonald,
Yes.
Brett Heidi.
Yes. Closes out new business, unless council or.
I'll print that tomorrow or
The agenda.
bring it
Thank you.
down or
Okay.
get in touch with you.
Yeah, let me know. Thank you so much.
Moving on to new old business, access requirements for 1673 West Dump Road, step number.
So after your guys' meeting in the beginning of October, you asked me to ask Elk County Highway the feasibility of constructing temporary medians. I emailed you their response. They had a lot of concerns about temporary, it not being attached to the asphalt liability, all of that. And then between that conversation and your meeting today, the engineers for Stepping Up Physical Fitness submitted plans to the Allen County Highway Department for review that comply with all Allen County Highway Department standards. I believe they just wanted, in the interest of getting the project substantially completed before the end of the year, and based on feedback they heard from council in your meeting at the beginning of October, they are complying with all Allen County Highway Department standards, including the length of the median being from close to the stop bar through the full length of the Stepping Up property, and the median being made out of concrete. So I've got here a couple of comments from Allen County Highway they sent on the 17th to Stepping Up. As you can see, I've highlighted, and they have agreed to the developer constructing an unmountable concrete median and the needed roadway improvements on Dump Road to promote right-in, right-out movement. They are comfortable slightly reducing the lane length for like the through lane by a foot or less to fit for the median. And then everything else is kind of just updates that need to be made to the plan. I actually had several emails come through this afternoon where they were submitting plans that had the outline comments addressed, including color of the median, labeled curb types, everything like that. So because they're no longer, the developer is no longer asking for a variation from Allen County Highway standards, they're complying with all of the standards. We don't need them to come and present. I think he was unable to anyway, but he doesn't need to come and present. We would just need you guys to make a motion to approve the median as designed, pending compliant with all outstanding comments. But the essence, the core question that came to you guys, the length and the material of the median have been addressed by the developer and comply with what is required per our standards.
So the unmountable, that's the K-rail stuff that we talked about.
It is, unmountable is like means you can't get your car up on it. It's concrete, so it's gonna be permanently adhered to the asphalt permanently. Or in the asphalt, I guess is a better word for it.
So it goes halfway to the front of the bank property?
It will not cross the bank's drive. It will run up to the drive, to deter anyone from, doing their best to take a chance and run the length of the wrong way. But it will not cross the bank's existing drive because they have access. They were granted access prior to whenever they decide to construct their in and out. And it runs up to the stop bars at the intersection on State Road 3. I do need you guys to approve, it'd be my recommendation to approve the median as designed, pending compliance with all Allen County Highway access standards. That way there's a couple of outstanding comments, like I said, like the color of the curb, like they're gonna comply, it's just not showing the plans, so, that gives a wiggle room for them to create a fully compliant plan set that fits within your guys' approval motion.
Entertain a motion
appreciate that.
So I would say, it'd be my recommendation to vote to approve the median as designed, pending complying with all Allen County highway standards.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the median as designed, as long as they're complying with all other highway, requirements.
Second?
No further discussion, Ryan, please call for vote.
Mike Aker,
Yes.
Pat Freck,
Yes.
Tina McDonald,
Yes.
Brandon Seifert,
Yes.
Brett Hike.
Yes. Moving on, Huntertown Family Park Transition Committee appointment.
So for those of you that were not here, at the end of last month's, or beginning of this month's meeting, the park board has voted to form a committee to discuss the transition of the park in a period of, 3 to 5 year timeline. And they've asked for, appointment of 2 town council members to sit on that committee. Randy and myself will also sit on it, and then park board designees, whoever they choose. And the reason it was tabled from the last meeting is that they just wanted everybody here to, decide who to sit. So it'd be up to 2, if you only want 1 person to sit on it, it's really whatever folks your guys vote. I don't know if you guys wanna make a formal motion, I don't think you have to, it's an informal committee, anything that is discussed in the committee will be reported back to you guys. Final decisions will come before you guys, but, okay.
So it's Mike and Brad.
Okay, that closes out old business, unless council has something, or County has something not brought up. Going on to reports, council member reports, if somebody's gonna bring in the pit, go ahead, if not, I'll bring it up.
I have one thing, but it was in regards to the door, the front door, I understand, isn't operating properly when you exit. Is there somebody lined up to make that repair?
As of it was Wednesday last week when they were out here, and one of our guys, I was told one of our guys was looking into finding somebody to come out and fix it. I will follow up in the morning and see where that's at, and we'll get some action taken on that tomorrow if nothing's been taken. But basically, the locking mechanism isn't working properly. When the door is locked, you can't open it from the outside, obviously, which is good, but you can't exit from the inside either.
Oh.
Which, the way it was before, you were able to open the door from the inside to let somebody in if it was locked. But now the door it's just, when it's locked in both directions.
So we need to get that fixed.
Yeah. And so then when we get here, we unlock it, now you can just lightly tap it and it will open. Like, you don't even need to jiggle the handle or do anything with it, so I'll follow up in the morning and get somebody on it if nobody is at this point.
Okay, thank you.
I've noticed recently on the socials, some of the Huntertown residents are now talking about their water smelling funny, color-ish a little bit, not getting any pressure sometimes, hardly at all. The smell, I guess, also with some residents in town, I guess, on some of the HOA pages and Huntertown Helping pages on Facebook. So I didn't know if Derek and the team could look into this, and then if we could put something out on social media, on our town Facebook page, website, whatever we have to do, because I am seeing like an increase of these residents in Huntertown talking about their water being different now, just talking about the color, the smell, using more water softener than before, because we do know that we have hard water, basically really hard water out here because of all the minerals, but I guess some people are saying that they're having to do double duty now, I guess, with water softener, and all of a sudden it's happening, so it's not something that, has always happened, but I guess like overnight now. So I didn't know, with that being said, if there's any knowledge, any information out there that we can give to the public on the socials, so that way they can know what's going on, if there are issues that we are seeing that we haven't been told yet or don't know about, if there's any of those water issues. And also the building, there's a lot of residents that are having sticker shock now as well in regards to the building of water and sewer. And that is starting to take precedence as well, along with the other issues that they're mentioning on the socials, so I don't know if we can counter that.
I can, yeah, so for typically the first line of defense, quote unquote, like people see like a change in their water pressure or change in color, they'll call our billing office, cause they, we will have Huntertown call it. I don't know that they've fielded an increased amount of calls, I can talk with them tomorrow and see. Typically when they do, the first question is, we see a lot of water softeners clog up, usually they'll direct the person to do that, and then if they still have issues, we'll send some guy out to look at it. We did have a water main break this week, so if it was like one HOA, Facebook, if that was the neighborhood adjacent to the water main leak, they had a main break. So they might have experienced a temporary loss in pressure, nothing to be concerned about in terms of the meeting compliance with pressure in the line, but I'd be probably interested if you wouldn't mind either like what those Facebook groups are, so we can like look at locations and see how that correlates.
Perfect.
Would the flushing hydrants by chance?
That is, we typically have a fall cycle over, but I will double check and see if they started flushing again this week.
This is about for the last maybe month and a half. Just periodically, they're posting on that, just talking about the water, the bills.
Yeah, and I can speak to the bill also slightly, so you guys voted to take away the summer sprinkling credit, and because we bill in arrears, what people are seeing right now as an increased bill is the water they were using in July, August, September. So it's high because they are no longer receiving the summer sprinkling credit, they're now getting charged full water and sewer. So that would be my assumption as to why people are potentially seeing a slight increase in bills. Water usage goes up in the summer, people are watering the gardens, watering the grass, our rates have not changed, so it's probably a combination of increased usage and the elimination of the summer sprinkling credit.
Gotcha.
I just
Second thought.
have a question, since the northbound's open on Lima, when we're doing the construction, there's two pretty good size, basically holes, one of them's full of water right now, and the only thing I see is just some yellow caution tape around them. So if we could maybe look into that, if we could put some sort of snow fencing, some sort of barrier or something like that, especially with already coming up.
Yeah, I will send a message to the surveyor's office and see if another contractor can add some safety.
Oh, and I apologize, I have one more thing. Since we have all the council here tonight, I would like to bring up again, my motion to move forward with the shops of Copper Creek ETA. And so that way, so we can give direction to Hannah to start the process of what is required for that, to designate that as an EDTA. So I'd like to make a motion again that we have discussion on creating an ETA at the shops at Copper Creek.
Motion on the floor, do I have a second for discussion?
Second.
Discussion.
I think when I talked to him like 2 weeks ago, he made it sound like even if we vote on it tonight, it has to go to Allen County to say yes or no. Right.
We should go with what we recommend.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So I was willing to let Allen County make the final decision.
I think just for your guys' information, the cycle of it is you guys vote for it, Allen County staff and myself will generate the report, it goes to the EDC, it comes back to the town council for final vote. I do want to mention that the Allen County Economic Development staff who would help me generate the report does not feel that the Copper Creek site meets the EDTA requirement, and they do not feel comfortable generating a report on it. So that work would be my responsibility. Sorry, I was unprepared. I believe we spoke with them on if I do the report, can it still go to the Allen County Economic Development Commission? I believe their answer was yes, because they're still active in our body. It just would be a report generated by myself rather than their staff in collaboration with me. And I think you guys can remember from past conversations, they did not have that same reservation for other sites in Huntertown. It was specific to the Copper Creek area, just as a brief history reminder.
Further discussion?
And this is one of the reasons why I feel that Huntertown needs to create their own EDC. So that way that we have people that live in the community like we do with the RDC, like we do with the USB. And that if we were to create our own RDC, then we would have more of a stake in the game, if you wanna think about it outside, that we wouldn't have to continually rely on people that are appointed that don't live in our community. And that was one of the ideas of why this should come in-house for us as on the town council. So I feel that we try our best, we work together, and then we submit, this, to the EDC for the county. Because the developers have more than enough information that they can put into this as well to show that they've had financial hardships. They can show all of that with the emails and with all the information that they have. And this is what I was told by Brendan and Troy. So I at least want us to do our due diligence, to work together, to be collaborative is what we want to be, and then move forward to see what happens, let the dust fall where it will. And at least let's do this, be good stewards and try to, we try to help out everybody in the community, everybody from the top groups to the first time developers. And I really do feel that they have a vested interest in our community, as in that they have to set up shop as what Brendan and Troy has told Hannah and I, that they're not gonna be a one and done. This is gonna be an investment, but then also possible future investments into the community of Huntertown. So this is just the starting point. They're not gonna be like, some of the other developers that we see one time and then move on. So I just feel that with the work that was done when Beth was here, that we were working on it towards this, and then with what happened, for a year and a half, with Beth retiring and Hannah's catching up as fast as she can, and she's done a good job, that I just feel that the next step is that we talk about what we said that we were going to do, that if a situation like this happens, if the county ever balked at us trying to submit something, then we need to, stake our claim for Huntertown, because that's who we're fighting for. So, that's just, I can say everything that I, throw out there, but really it's just time to see how people feel about it with the vote, so.
So my thoughts are, there's a set of rules that decisions are made on. And the criteria established applies to every developer. And if we give an exception to one, they all talk, they have their own community. I just feel that, that could be a roller coaster effect. And my feelings are, they knew that when they bought that property from Rick Zaire. Rick Zaire knew it, that's probably why he sold the property. And I just feel they've known from the beginning, that those power lines were there. They blamed the Allen County Highway on the delay, if I remember correctly. That was not Huntertown delaying them, it was Allen County. And I agree with you, Brandon, in collaborating, working with the people in our community, but at the same time, I feel we have to make a hard decision sometimes and can't make an exception for one development who has, this outline of the criteria, and they know they don't need it. They're using this word "and other," it's like, okay, their attorney felt it fell under the other category. because the highway delayed because of them having their own streets and all that, so.
Yeah, but you have to think about it this way, we're not giving them anything. They still have to go through the process to go in front of the county EDC to plead the case. So we're not really giving them anything. We're just doing what we're supposed to be doing as a council and a municipality, and a developer comes to us, they're asking this. Ultimately, it isn't our decision since we don't make up the EDC. I don't think there's any Huntertown residents that are on this county EDC.
Correct.
So then
Sorry, just to interject, the EDC makes a favorable recommendation, the final vote does come to you guys.
Oh, no,
So
correct, but it's gotta
you
go
have
through
a
them
say.
first. Yeah, correct. But ultimately, it's, it starts with us submitting it to them voting on us and either giving us a do pass or not do pass recommendation. At least that's what I'm thinking about. But then, so we're not really doing anything or giving them any advantages. They are using what is available, the tools in the tool chest that every municipality has. The other thing is, you had mentioned at the last council meeting that, if it's not an area that is going to be, if it's gonna be an area that's gonna be developed, I think you had mentioned that means that it doesn't meet that criteria for an EDTA.
No, I said if that area would have developed on its own, and when you look at the criteria established, they meet that criteria. Other than there's some sentence where it says,
Right.
and other. That's the area that they feel this falls under.
So I thank you for that, because I knew the answer, but I wanted to hear it from you, because if that's the case, then we would not be able to do the Price property as an EDTA, because we knew that it was going to be developed. Because it was recognized in the 2022 downtown survey, the Price property, and so with your thinking with what you just said, then that means that the Price property would not be eligible, because the town has designated that area. We bought some of the property in the back, so we would not be able to create an EDTA now under those standards, is what you just mentioned, which I knew, but I wanted you to say it out loud, because now that means.
I would have to see that criteria.
But you just mentioned it. You just mentioned it.
I don't know it off the top of my head, Brandon. I mean, I think she read it the last time.
But I'm saying if that's the case, then we had talked about possibly creating an EDTA for the Price property, if that ever gets developed. It was designated as a town, as a developable area, so then theoretically, because of what you said, now that means that we would not be able to create an EDTA for that section if it ever gets developed. Because we have looked at it as a town and had put it and we actually bought property knowing that it was going to be developed, and it's all in the meeting minutes from going back to 2020. So then in your own logic with what you had just mentioned, then we would not be able to create an EDTA then for the shop over here at the Price property.
I don't know.
I'm saying you had mentioned that they didn't qualify because they knew it was gonna be developed. That's what you just said.
Well, that wasn't the only reason.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I would like to see this go forward and see what we can work on together to get this done for this development.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Different? Seeing none, Ryan, if you could please call for the vote.
Pat Freck,
No.
Tina McDonald,
No.
Brandon Seifert,
Yes.
Mike Aker,
Yes.
Brad Height.
No. Close this out, council. Resource officer.
I have nothing unless you have questions.
Do we need to change that sign, the speed sign on Gump Road by the school, because it just has a smiley face now?
I have been gone for the last 2.5 weeks, so I haven't driven by it yet, I'm sure smiley faces are making everybody happy, but.
When I leave to go out to the district at 7 AM, it's always nice to see that smiley face before
There
I.
we go. At least we did our good deed for the day, everybody. I will talk to Randy, or I'll get over there, I think I can get to the back of it to change it without taking it down, so. I'll see if I can do that tonight, if not, I'll talk to Randy and we'll get it fixed.
I drove it today, we're talking about the one right here.
Yeah,
No, not the one right in front of the fire station, the one that's.
No, the one on Gump Road, right?
Yeah,
West
approaching
Yeah.
Highway 3, I drove it today and it was monitoring my speed this afternoon, so.
I'll drive it
See
and
a
check
smiley
it.
face.
okay.
I'll do it, I'll kinda keep an eye on it, and
Okay.
if it doesn't
Like
look
you're
right, I'll
driving,
take care of it.
did not smile at me.
Well, I was waiting for it to say something.
Clerk treasurer,
I have nothing to report, thank you.
town manager,
Couple of things. One, scarecrow contest is ongoing. I'm working to get photos. Not everyone was able to get theirs up in time of today because it was a rainy weekend. So we have until tomorrow at noon to get them up. I'll take photos, post them on Facebook for people's choice. But there is first, second, and third prizes. So I'm looking for, if one or two of you, three of you, would like to be judges for the scarecrow contest, I'll send you photos and it's just choosing first, second, third, and then we'll combine your
I'll
votes.
do it.
Is anyone else interested?
I'll do it if Pat does it.
Okay.
We did it, we did it.
I volunteered last year and it's like, I can't tell the stinking difference between one ugly scarecrow and another. You know,
I will
we're all
send you guys
horrible, you know what I'm
an email.
saying?
I'll send you guys an email, just by the 31st, we got time.
We'll collude and get it all together.
No, I'm kidding. Keystone, Ryan presented some numbers for you guys to consider at your meeting, in the beginning of October. They're gonna come to your November, oh god, I think it's November 17th meeting, and give a presentation. So we'll invite the utility service board to attend as well. We'll start the meeting off with their presentation.
is this what Martha wanted to
Yeah.
tell us about?
Yes, and you're welcome. I would encourage you to meet with her prior to the Keystone presentation, because their presentation is going to be very generic. Like, here's the generic benefits of Keystone, whereas Martha, the utility office, can offer insights. Here's how our office would benefit from it, or here's concerns we have, or whatever it may be. But just to put it on your calendars, it'll be on your agenda at that time, but just as a heads up. Also, I sent an email out, last week, I believe, regarding the next steps for the Parkview parcel. And the RDC took a motion, and approved to engage Tom Pittman to have him work with Parkview to create a partnership agreement for development of the site. So looking for a similar motion and approval from you guys tonight. The difference, as I explained in the RDC meeting, between conversations leading up to this point and then kind of reframing the conversation going forward, is Parkview in the past had almost acted as the developer. That is not their intention. Their intention is they're the landowner. So their intent in this partnership agreement is to work with the town of Huntertown in the selection of a developer for the site. So the partnership agreement is the first step in a very long conversation to get all that, but it's basically allowing Tom to work with Parkview's attorneys in the creation of an agreement that best serves both parties. It'll come to you guys for final approval. And then there'll be all the decisions to come on. So this agreement wouldn't have anything to do with how the site, what would be on the site, it would just be engaging with Parkview in some sort of partnership. So just looking for a motion and approval to engage him, and I will pass it along.
I'll make a motion to engage Tom Pittman to, make
Partnership agreement. I had to write it down.
Parkview in regards to the Gump Road development.
Second.
So any discussion, seeing none, Ryan, please call the vote.
Tina McDonald,
Yes?
Brandon Seifert,
Yes.
Mike Aker,
Yes.
Pat Freck,
Yes.
Brad Height.
Yes.
One super quick last thing, it was brought up at your guys' last meeting regarding giving employees is it Friday after Christmas?
Mhm.
Friday after Christmas off. No decision was made, we have time till Christmas to decide. I did speak with the employee who came to Ryan and asked, and they were asked by, they were the spokesperson for the employees, it's a generic ask to have that Friday off. There's discussion of, them using PTO, obviously we cannot have all of them use PTO. Each department has to stay open if the town hall will be open. So if, some people have already asked it off, but some people have travel plans, they would have to come back, work the Friday, and then not be able to spend the weekend with their family or whatever it may be. So there's lots of options, you don't have to decide tonight again, but wanted to provide additional context.
What's the day?
It would be the 26th, right?
December
So the
26th, that
24th
Friday,
and the
the day after
25th are
Christmas.
approved holidays, approved days off. The 26th happens to land on a Friday, so if someone's traveling out of state for Christmas, they wouldn't be able to stay over the weekend, they'd have to come back unless they're able to take PTO.
I wanna give them the day, I mean,
And as I shared at the last meeting, this came up 4th of July last year, Independence Day was on a Thursday, you gave them July 5th, that Friday off as an extra day. There's some other holidays, the Juneteenth holiday was a Thursday this year, everybody was in here working on Friday, so it's not a universal thing, whenever there's a Friday, it's just on a case basis, and so they're asking for a third holiday.
If you need a motion for those.
Yes.
And then one of the things we may be looking at, maybe Flipper Day for next year, or something along those lines, that way we can choose to do Flipper Day.
Ryan and I we have on our back burner to look at the handbook, and the handbook would be, that would be part of it. So that lists the approved holidays, so that's something we can consider.
Just to,
I'll make a motion to give the town employees December 26th off this year.
I'll second that.
no discussion, Ryan, please call.
Braden Seifert,
Yes.
Mike Aker,
Yes.
Pat Freck,
Yes,
Tina McDonald,
Yes.
Brett Hyde.
Yes.
Thank you guys, that is all I have.
Engineers. We're all set. Oh.
Jason, you can
Alright, I'm gonna spring this on you. I worked all day trying to get this figured out. We're on the roundabout project, we're moving forward with the environmental document, trying to get it approved. I just finally got the 106 comments back from NDOT that I submitted back in July, and I resubmitted those last week. So hopefully by the end, she told me 20 business days, she'll get us the approval on that, and then once I have the approval on that, we can submit our draft CE for public involvement. Part of the draft CE document is a Waters of the US report. The report was done, I can't remember who did it, Davie Resource Group back in 2020. And it was intended to be used on this project. However, those documents have a 5-year shelf life. So it's expired and can't be used. So my recommendation, in order to keep this project moving and not have to debate this with NDOT that we're a month or two out, is we'll just do what we call a AI, an additional information document. We just go back out there, verify, we have to verify what was in the original report, that those changes, there's gonna be no changes or any effects to the land, and everything's still the way it was, and then submit that.
Will that be another 5-year plan then?
It will, you could use it, but it's gonna be specific to that site. Cause we're just gonna do whatever's needs for we're not gonna do the whole corridor like the Davie, we're just gonna focus just on the intersection. So, I'm bringing a supplement for $7,000 to complete that work. We've already contacted NERC and Dan Avery, and they are willing to they're gonna participate in the 80%. So the town's, match is only gonna be $1,400. So I'm basically asking you guys to approve that, conditional of NDOT approving it. Technically, they gotta approve it, but, and I sent that to them, but I don't see why they wouldn't.
I'll make a motion to approve supplemental agreement number 5 from GAI Consultants regarding the Carroll Road roundabout project in the amount of $1,400.
Second.
Ryan, please call for the vote.
Mike Aker,
Yes.
Pat Freck,
yes.
Tina McDonald,
Yeah.
Brandon Seifert.
Yes.
Brett Hyde.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Closes that out. Attorney.
No report.
Okay, that moves us to public comment if you have public comment, please come to the podium, state your name and your address, and please keep comments for 3 minutes. Closing public comments. Our next meeting will be November 3rd. Can we get motions for adjournment of the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Sorry. All in favor, so saying aye.
I'm just like trying to decide if I wanted to go through